and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by number 22. That's Clifton. He's got the left edge. Turns on the Jets. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Calaveras. What a play. Up to a running back. That's Ferrante over to the right side. He comes back up the middle. He's got room. One man to beat. He turns on the Jets. There he goes. Touchdown, Calaveras. What a play.
Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. I'm your host, Gil Valtierra, the voice of Calaveras football. It's Friday night, and your Calaveras RedHawks are back in action tonight as they play host to the Big Valley Christian in another Motherlode League matchup at Frank Meyer Field in San Andreas. My guest today is none other than head varsity football coach at Calaveras High, Coach Manny Mosa. Coach, everybody's fired up about, hey, what's back in football? None of this bye week stuff no more.
We're back at it. Sounds like the crowd's back at it, too.
That's right. So normally, folks, right now we'd go over last week's results of what's happening around the Calaveras universe in football. But not only was the high school on bye, but the youth program was on a bye week, so no games to report. We will tell you that this Saturday they will be at Argonaut and playing some big games there. In fact, Coach Mosa, you brought a little bit of records to let the folks know about how each team is doing. So why don't you fill us in?
Yeah, everything's updated. And I tell you, I look at this weekend at the youth level, and it makes me miss Argonaut not being in the Motherlode League anymore. They're not far away. We've played each other high school youth levels for years. So the youth has a battle this week. Junior novice, both teams are 8-0.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 8-0. Because of points, Argonaut's a 1 seed, Calaveras the 2 seed currently, and I do believe they're going to start. It's 11-on-11 this week for those guys. I'm going to assume Argonaut's got plenty of guys on their side of the field to do 11-on-11. So I think that's going to be a good matchup. Starts at noon this week at Argonaut, so that's going to be a fun one to watch.
You bet. So what else besides the novice?
So then you got the novice team. Calaveras is 8-0, and Argonaut 7-1. They got one sole loss at the beginning of the year.
So that'll be a good one.
Mm-hmm. They look really good. Great defense. That's going to be a tough one there. And then the JV playoff implications. Calaveras is sitting at the 5 seed, I do believe, and Argonaut's sitting at that 9 seed, looking in. Top 8 go to playoffs, but they're only one game apart in record. So every one of these games mean a whole bunch right now. And then varsity, Calaveras 7-1 sitting at the 2nd seed, and Argonaut is 5-3 sitting at the 4 seed.
All right.
So I think there's going to be some really good football games on Saturday to go watch. I would encourage people to go out there and just watch. It's a great field to watch football.
Yeah.
You get there early enough, you can park next to the field, and I just think it's a great environment.
All right. So sounds good. You heard it, folks. Get down to Argonaut High School, support those junior RedHawks. As we take a look around the league, as far as the Motherlode League at the high school level, last week Calaveras was on a bye. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the Big Valley Christian Lions out of Modesto are coming to Frank Meyer Field to play Calaveras here in San Andreas. Be sure to get to that game. Last week, Big Valley Christian won over Riverbank 42-3, so a big win for them. Tonight, Riverbank, is that right? 42-3?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Anyways, tonight, I think Summerville. I think these are last week's, Coach.
Yeah,
these are last week's because Big Valley actually beat Bret Hart.
This is this last week right here. Big Valley played Riverbank this past week.
Bret Hart was the previous week.
Bret Hart was the previous week.
Boy, I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
I got you. That's why I'm here, buddy.
All right, thank you for that. So tonight, Linden goes to Riverbank. Summerville was victorious over River Islands 58-0. Tonight, Hillmar, what a game to have in lieu of Millennium. Kind of went the other way with that one.
Yeah, good for Coach Lavers to set that up. I think that's going to be a good test for Summerville, and that's what you want as a football coach. You want to be able to play good teams like that, and not only have a chance to win, but just for your own, that's good football.
That's some iron sharpening iron right there. That's going to be a good football game. Bret Hart lost to Linden 56-0, and then River Islands is actually going to be at Bret Hart tonight over in Angels Camp. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So, any comments about any of those games, Coach?
Yeah, Big Valley Christian. We have them this week. That's a good showing. 42-3. They were at Riverbank. I'm pretty sure. That's a good showing for them. I think they're a good football team. I think they're better than what a lot of people are saying. Better than advertised. If you
right,
you know what I mean. So I think that's going to be. I think it's going to be a good one for us. I don't want to say I'm worried, but for us, we had a tough game, we had a bye, and now we have a good football team coming in that maybe their record doesn't quite show it or whatnot. So our guys got to be ready to play from the get go.
Well, they're 5-2,
yeah,
and 3-1 in league. Yeah. I talked to the head coach, Coach Lima, and I asked him if I would ask you preseason before the season started that 7 weeks in you'd be 5-2 and 3-1 in league. He said, "I'll take it."
Yes. Yes.
I actually, I told him face to face. I said I kind of created the moniker for Big Valley as being the best of the rest. So if he takes offense to that, that's on me. I did that, and he didn't take offense at all. He was like, I'm okay with being the best of the rest right now. You got to start somewhere, and he'll build from there. So he was pretty humble guy and a pretty nice guy to talk with, and you'll see later when we hear a little bit from him in his interview. So yeah, I mean they're no slouch. They're going to be a disciplined football team. It's one of those games where you can't just overlook them. You have to actually properly prepare.
Absolutely, and I think back to last year when we were able to schedule them last year, and the score was not indicative of the game. I think like you said, they're going to be a disciplined football team. They're going to run what they run. They have athletes. They have size. They're still putting it together. But, hey, easy way to not be the best of the rest, and that's beat somebody at the top, right? So kudos to those guys. I'm sure they're going to be ready to go.
Right.
I have no question they'll be ready to go.
So good game on tonight. Be sure to be there, Frank Meyer Field, to see Big Valley at Calaveras go at it. So far, the Motherlode League standings as of this past week, we have the top three there on the top. Calaveras at 3-0 in league, 6-1. Linden right there with them, 6-1, 3-0 in league. Summerville also 6-1, 3-1 in league. Big Valley Christian at 5-2, 3-1 in league. Riverbank 4-3, 0-3 in league. River Islands 1-6, 0-4 in league, and Bret Hart 0-6, 0-3 in league. As you look at those Motherlode League standings, Coach, anything that sticks out that says I'm surprised at that or this, or does that look about what you might have expected? Obviously we were always hoping for Calaveras to be on top there,
and I think we've started off well at 3-0. We got some tough ones coming up here. So that was that's always something you look for,
right?
Big Valley, they're playing very well. Riverbank, River Islands, Bret Hart, they've yet to get one in league, but they're coming. Somebody's got to win.
Right.
They're going to start playing each other here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
that's going to wash out.
Yeah. So, it's crazy to think we are where we are.
Yeah.
We have 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
And it's wild. It's wild. This, I feel like we just started, and we were doing the talking before we played a single game, and who was going to be where. And we're starting to see things shake out a little bit, and tensions are getting a little bit higher for some, and frustration's getting higher for others. You know what I mean? And it's it's football. We've been through many a years together, and it's all a part of it, and it's cool, and the kids are eating it up, and the weather's changing.
Oh, I love it.
It's football. This is the time right now.
If you don't need to put a sweater on to go to a Friday night game, or at least bring one, then it's not quite football weather yet.
Agree, 100%.
All right. Well, hey, quick thanks out to Guy Dossey, the sports editor of the Calaveras Enterprise and CalaverasEnterprise.com for providing all the stats for the Let's Talk Football Coach Val podcast. We appreciate you, Guy. Other games around the area, Argonaut beat Rosemont 20-13. Looked like that was a tight game. Big win for Argonaut. Tonight, Argonaut will be at Galt. Galt's been struggling, so I think Argonaut might have the upper hand there. Amador victorious over Galt, 48-14. Tonight, Union Mine will head over to Amador. That'll be a much tougher game for Amador. What a game with Sonora and Houston. Houston held on and won 52-51. And some of the chatter we were getting, Coach, was there was like 4 timeouts. Sonora was going to go for 2 and get the win. There was like 4 timeouts going back and forth between the teams. And when it was all finally said and done, the final score was 52-51. So the folks down in Houston certainly got their money's worth to go watch that game.
Oh, man. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Usually it's one or the other. But to get 50-plus on both sides,
yeah.
That's 2 good football teams.
And then have it come down to the very end, and 2 undefeated football teams at the time. So,
yeah. I mean, a lot would say two of the best football teams in the section.
You bet. Well, what a game. So tonight, Sonora will head over to Ripon and play them, so that'll be interesting there. What I want to do now, Coach, is I had an opportunity to talk to a few of your players, and normally it's all X's and O's, that kind of stuff. And what I wanted to do, since they were on a bye week, is just say, hey, who are you? What's your favorite movie? What kind of kid are you? What do you like to do? Let us learn a little bit something about these guys. And so for the out you there, listen, let's learn something from some of these Calaveras players. Let's listen in. X's and O's today, a little bit lighthearted. Wanted to have the fans get to know a little bit about who you are. So number 69 played left tackle. What are your parents' names?
My mom is Jana. My dad's Jorn.
Okay. And where do you guys live?
We live in Valley Springs, not too far from the high school. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'm going to go through a couple of little questions for you. And like I said, some of them are silly, all that kind of stuff. But are you a book guy or Kindle?
Oh, I think I'm going to have to go for books. I love reading a good book sometimes. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Coke or Pepsi?
I'm going to have to go with Pepsi on that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Toilet paper roll. Over or under on the delivery?
I'm an over guy.
I'm an over guy?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Dog or cat?
Dogs.
Okay. Apple or Android?
I'm going to have to go with Apple. I've had Apple growing up, so it's a little more easier to use. And Apple.
Okay. Yes or no? Pineapple on pizza?
I'm going to have to go with yes.
Yes?
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
Ooh. I'm going to have to go with a grilled peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, taking it to the next level.
Yeah,
I love it. All right. And then how about your favorite movie?
Oh, I think it's going to have to be The Goonies or The Sandlot.
Okay.
Those are my favorite movies, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you got Big Valley Christian coming in this Friday. Tell me about how you feel about, preparation and getting ready to get back at it after the bye week.
Well, I think it's, for this week, just about getting back into shape, back into football status. We had the bye week, just, a nice chill week. So I think this week it's really going to be about getting back into shape, getting everything back down, and taking on Big Valley and see who's victorious.
Time to put the grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich down and get back at it.
Some salads, yeah.
All right, well, I wish you the best of luck. We'll see you out there on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, I'm with number 2, Ethan Ayala. Ethan, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. This week, just want to do a little something silly to get the fans to kind of get to know you and who you are. Tell us, what are your parents' names?
They're Rich and Jessica.
Okay, and where do you guys live?
I live out there in Burson.
Okay, cool. And a little bit about something about you. Are you a book or a Kindle guy?
I think I'm a Kendall kind of guy.
Kindle guy?
Yeah.
All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Ooh, Coke.
Yeah, me too. Toilet paper roll. Over delivery or under delivery?
I'm an over guy.
Over guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Dog or cat?
Dogs.
Okay. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Okay. Yes or no? Pineapple on pizza?
I can get around it.
You can get around it?
Yeah.
So like you'll take it off, so you
No.
prefer, or you'll
I can eat
you'll
it.
still eat it?
Yeah, my mom likes it. I can eat it.
Okay. All right. Peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
Ooh. I like both, so I can get behind it, but I mean, I'm more of a grilled cheese kind of guy, I think.
Okay. What about your favorite movie?
Ooh. I'd have to say one of the Rambos. I like all the Rambo movies, but one of them, I guess, Rambo.
Okay. Out of all the Rambos, no favorite out of all of those?
The one's called the Rambo Last Blood, right? That's the newest
the
one.
last one, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right, cool. So, hey, you got finally coming off the bye week. You got Big Valley at home on Friday. Looking forward to getting back to work here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get back to playing football again.
Yeah.
Last week was kind of a little easy, but, I mean, can't wait to get back to it.
All right. Well, we'll see you out there on Friday. Wish you the best luck.
Thank you.
All right. All right, I'm with number 32, Caden Spur. Caden, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. We're just going to do simple, like let the fans kind of get to know who you are, what your likes are. What are your parents' names?
Dean and Lindsay.
Okay, and where do you guys live?
We live on Burson.
Okay. And so some silly questions for you. So, a little bit about who you are. Are you a book or a Kindle guy?
Oh, I'm not much of a reading guy, but if I had to, I'd probably go with the Kindle just because audiobook.
Okay. All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
All right. Toilet paper roll. Over or under?
Over.
Over.
Over, 100%.
I'm an over guy. So it seems like everybody
Yeah.
says over.
Yeah.
Who does the under thing?
My father.
No way.
He takes it off, and then whenever he puts it back on, it's always under. And it's
Wow.
like a pet peeve of mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird. Almost everybody I talk to, they're over people, so it surprises me when someone actually says they're under. Dog or cat?
Dog, 100%.
Okay. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Yes or no? Pineapple on pizza?
I can go without it.
You can go without
I
it?
can go without it.
All right. Peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
Grilled cheese.
Okay. And then how about your favorite movie?
American Sniper. Chris Kyle.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I love it. So bye week, last week, now finally got an opponent. Big Valley's coming in here at Frank Meyer Field on Friday. Tell me how it feels to kind of finally get the bye week behind you and get back to work and get ready for an opponent.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to have. A chill week. We were out here. We had one field day working on our special teams. That wasn't doing so great for us last week against Summerville. We had a couple screw-ups on special teams, so we really got that dialed in. And, other than that, it feels great to come off a chill week and come out and have to work hard again.
All right. Well, we'll see you out there on Friday against Big Valley and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Am I sending anyone?
All right, I'm with number 1, Josh Monzo. Josh, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me. What are your parents' names?
My mom's name's Corey Fisk, and my dad's name's Pablo Bonzo.
Okay. And then where do you guys live?
We live in Valley Springs, like kind of near Jenny Lynn.
Okay. And going to ask you some silly questions. It's kind of a get-to-know-you kind of thing. Are you more of a book or a Kindle guy?
Ooh, I don't know. I enjoy a good book, but I'm kind of picky with it. My problem is just getting a good picture in my mind when I'm reading it. So if I can get a good picture, then I love books.
Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke, 100%.
Gotcha. Toilet paper roll, over or under delivery?
Oh, definitely under.
Under?
I think it's under.
Wow. Okay. Most people are always over, so I'm gonna have to keep asking more people to get a good amount of number to see if it's like really 50-50 or not. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Yes or no? Pineapple on pizza?
No.
No.
Nope.
Don't like it, huh?
Absolutely not. It
Okay.
doesn't go.
All right. Peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese?
I'm gonna say grilled cheese, peanut butter, and jelly.
Grilled all of it.
Cheese, peanut butter, and jelly.
D, all of the above.
Yep.
All right. I like it. Favorite movie?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
If it's like you're about to leave the house, but then something comes on, you're like, oh, I got to sit down and watch this.
Probably like Tron.
Okay.
Like the most recent
Okay.
Tron.
All right. Cool. So coming off the bye week, you guys kind of had a week off. Now you're finally getting back to work. You got Big Valley Christian coming in on Friday night. Tell me what it feels like to finally have an opponent to get ready for, and then getting ready to hopefully for a playoff run.
Yeah. So definitely paying attention to Big Valley is going to be a key component to see how good of a team we can maintain. Because I think coming off that Summerville win, everybody's excited. Like, we beat a good team. We have been playing very good teams. And I just hope everybody can just keep their composure and, keep toughing it out, focus on this win, and then focus on the next win as well, which is a big win against Linden. So we just got to keep our composure pretty much.
All right. Well, we'll see you out there on Friday, and I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. You want anybody? All right, Coach. So you heard it. Most of your team seems like they got to have that over on the toilet paper thing, and maybe instead of barbecue for Thursday night dinner, they need peanut butter jellies or grilled cheese.
Hey, listen, I have a lot of respect for Jorn Bowerson, a lot, until he said he likes pineapple on pizza. Pineapple does not belong on pizza ever with anything else, but he saved himself with the grilled PB&J. He saved himself there, and Goonies and Sandlot. Okay, he's back.
He's back in your good graces.
We love him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the movie selections. Rambo.
Yeah.
Hey, that goes back. I mean, that's 80s right there.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, I love that.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, normally, because we would have been going over stats with the youth and stats with the high school, and we didn't have any of that this week. We got a little bit of extra time here, Coach. And so what I'm doing is I'm adding a little segment here I call a football story. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of story. I'm going to tell you a football story. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, and I promise you the story will come after that. MRM Stone has over 1,000 natural stone selections, fabrication services, and delivery available. With over 60 years of natural stone sales experience, we stock and sell natural stone thin veneer, flagstone, boulders, pavers, retaining wall block, structural block, cobble, pea gravel, mulch, and the tools necessary to complete your project. Our inside and outside sales staff is eager to help with your landscape or masonry project. Stop on by 2173 Highway 12 in Valley Springs, or go to mrmstone.com or give us a call 209-763-5761. That's 209-763-5761. MRM Stone, your masonry and landscape stone supplier. All right, Coach, welcome back. As promised, a little bit of story for you. This is going to take you back, all the way back to 1985, when Coach Val wasn't Coach Val. He was Gil Valtierra high school varsity football player. And in that year, I played for Newark Memorial High School. We had a fantastic season. We went all the way to the very last game, to the 10th game, and at that point, we were 9-0, undefeated so far going into that 10th and final game. Had a fantastic defense. If you looked at all the scores for those first 9 games, there was only one team that scored 13 points on us. We still won that game, obviously. And then everyone else either had one score or were shut out in every other game. So a fantastic defense. Had a really good team. Problem was, in our league, the Mission Valley Athletic League, there was another team. They were the Washington Huskies. And the Washington Huskies went all the way, and we played them in week 10, right? And so not only were we in the same league, but all of the sports writers, all of the pundits there that were following high school football considered in the North Coast section, which is where we played in the NCS, the number one team in the section was Newark Memorial. It was us. We were 9-0. The number 2 team in the section was Washington High School. Wow. So the top 2 teams in the entire section were in the same league together. and we didn't play each other until week 10.
Oh, wow.
So every game that we would play, we'd win, they'd win, we'd win, they win. They finally got upset, but from a league team. So we come into week 10, and it's like, this is it. This is the championship game. Everybody felt like whoever wins this game, they're going to roll through the playoffs. They're going to be section champions because no one else is better than these two teams. So it was pretty much understood this is kind of the section championship here, right? So Newark's 9-0. Washington's 8-1. By the way, folks, a little, dropping names here for Washington High School. Their coach, Coach Ingram at the time, he was in his 35th, 36th year. He had taken over when he went in there, and this is 85. Yeah. So he had been there for 35 years. He had taken over the head coaching job from a guy, you might recognize his name, a little guy named Bill Walsh. So Bill Walsh was the head coach at Washington High School, left there, went to Stanford, and of course we all know what he did with the 49ers later in his career.
Wow.
So he took over the job from Bill Walsh. So you want to talk about filling some big shoes.
Yeah, and held it.
Yeah, held it for that so long.
Wow.
They ran what we called the wishbone offense. So they had 3 running backs shaped like a wishbone. So right behind the quarterback was under center. The fullback was kind of like right behind him, right on his butt. And then he had 2 running backs in a split formation behind that fullback. So it kind of looked like the point of an arrow, right?
Love it.
And it was an option offense. They could open up, give to that fullback. They got running backs in pitch relationship. Man, it was tough to defend against. So big hoopla for that whole week, right? 9-0 versus 8-1, number 1 versus number 2. Offensively, I did not start on the offense. I was a backup running back, but I was what they called the kill man on the punt team. So that means that I'm on the last guy. I'm not one of those wideouts, but the last end man on the line of scrimmage. That's me. And my job is, as soon as that ball is snapped, I need to fly down that field, right? I don't have to wait till it's kicked. As soon as it's snapped, I'm flying down that field and doing everything I can to tackle that ball carrier, to go down the ball, go make a play. So, no problem. Been doing it all season. Problem this week, their punt returner, Washington's punt returner, is a guy named Michael Brooks. He was also their running back in that backfield. He had over 12 touchdowns running the football as a running back. He had another dozen touchdowns returning kicks.
Oh, wow. He's a dude.
He's a dude. The guy's Mr. All-America. My coach made sure I knew it. Every day at practice, he's letting me know, this guy's going to humiliate you in front of your whole family. This guy, you're going to be on the cover of the newspaper with him scoring you on the ground trying to catch him. He just painted so many dubious pictures of me failing. It made me go, I can't let that happen. I can't let that. I was just working so hard. So that's all we can practice. So you imagine the stress and the pressure of I can't let this guy return a kick on me
for punting.
Punting,
something that gets ran maybe 4, 5, 6 times a game.
Right.
Tops. Yeah.
Right. So big game. The day of the game, I wake up, front page of the newspaper. It's finally here. Big game. So many people. My garage door is completely covered in poster paper, and the entire cheerleading squad wrote my jersey number, good luck, Gil, just like all these, go get them tonight kind of messages. It was so cool. I have that same paper to this day.
Oh, really?
Folded it up. It's in my football memorabilia box. So funny. I have that in there, right? It's a big day. So we get to the game, right? Get in the locker room. Washington High School is a very old school. Very old school. We talked about Bill Walsh coaching there. They don't have new facilities at all. In the locker room, as we're walking out to take the field, it's pitch dark. The ceiling is leaky pipes, right? There's no ceiling. It's just pipes.
Yep.
We're walking down. You can't see your own uniform. It's that pitch dark. It's just completely black. You can't see the colors on your uniform. Our school colors were blue and gold. So can't see any of it. It's just black. We're walking down. All you hear is cleats, the clink and clank of the cleats, pitch dark. It was just kind of, this is it, right? Yeah. This is the moment. Then it leads out onto the field, and then suddenly, instantaneously, your uniform becomes illuminated, and it lights up with these bright colors because you're finally out of the tunnel and heading into the football field. And when we ran into the football field, and you hear all these people yelling, and you look around, and it was done at TAC Stadium, I think it was the name of the place, in Fremont. And there was probably over 7,000 people at the game. Whoa. And the best vision I have in my mind, the best picture I could paint for you folks at home is a sort of like, I don't know if you've ever seen those old school like Looney Tune commercials or cartoons, and they show like a stadium filling up to the point where just now people are just overflowing on the top of it, and there's just like that's that many people. That's how many people were at the game, because everybody was fired up about this is the big game. So, big game. You can't even, during warm-ups, you can't hear each other talk. It's just like the people were too loud.
Yeah.
So, here we go. First series, our offense stalls. Punt team.
Here we go.
Kill man on the punt team. Michael Brooks, here's the moment. Here's the moment that's going to make or break me, right? So I get there, I line up, and I look across from me, and I got a number 11 that's going to try to block me.
The fact that you remember that is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 11. But I thought, number 11, that's like quarterback, right? He's like 6'2", 220. Okay. Guess what? I wasn't. I was not 6'2", 220. But I was fast. I ran a 4.6 40, so that's why Coach had me there, because I was fast. So number 11 walks up to me, sees me, and he goes, "You think you're getting anywhere, you little twerp?" Right? Because I'm just this little guy. So I looked at him, and I told him, "Bring it," right? Getting ready for the ball to snap. He gets closer to the line of scrimmage. He's ready to just light into me. And right as that ball is snapped, I let out this grunt like I'm just going to hit him with everything I got. And I go, "Ah!" Right? And then I olayed out of the way. He went after me forward to try to hit me, and he fell down. I olayed him, scooted out of the way, and now I'm full speed into the open field with nobody in front of me, running full speed. I'm like, this is it, right? This is it. So what happens? The ball starts bouncing, right?
Okay.
And I think, damn it, he's going to down the ball, or he's going to leave it alone, get away from it. I'm going to down it. I don't get a chance to hit this guy. But Michael Brooks is thinking, hey, I'm Michael Brooks.
I got time.
You know who I am? So what does he do? He goes running up to the ball, picks it up. I timed it so perfect, Coach. The moment he went and even touched the ball, and before he could even look up, I was in the air with my helmet aimed right at his chest, and I lit him up to I just, with everything I had, he goes down. The crowd goes crazy. They're just like, whoa, all this big hit. I get up, I'm screaming because I think I just got a stinger in my shoulder. I hit him so hard. And for you folks at home that don't know what a stinger is sort of like if you've ever hit your funny bone, and you get that immediate, numbing and that pain of a funny bone. It's like that, but in your shoulder, right? So I immediately felt that, so I got up in pain, going, ah! Well, all my teammates thought I was just growling because I just, hit Michael Brooks. Right. So they all come going, yeah! And they're hitting me on my shoulder to celebrate and to give me kudos for the big play. Of course, now I'm even more pain, right? Because now my teammates are hitting me in the shoulder that hurts. Well, what does Michael Brooks do? He gets up, flips the ball at me and goes, good job. Goes running back into the huddle, gets back into offense, and he looked at me like that was like nothing. I'm in pain. I need medical attention. And this guy popped up like that was nothing to me.
Is that all you got?
And that's all you got. And then I think next season, I was at a junior college trying to make a roster. He was starting at BYU.
Ah, wow.
So I was like, okay, well, there's the difference.
Right.
There's the difference between those two. But that's my football story. That's my story of that's what I think I learned. There's certain levels of players where I can give everything I got and then realize, that still wasn't much for that guy.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, though? Better than being the guy that got hit. Right? Stingers go away.
Stingers go away. You know what doesn't go away? Great memories of that moment that I was able to go down there and put a helmet on that guy.
Oh, man, I can't believe you remember the details, man. I feel like it's been so long. A lot of it's vague for me.
It is a long time. Well, hey, thanks for indulging and listening to that. And hopefully down the road here, I'll be able to, poke out some stories from Coach Mosa too, and we'll get some football stories going from everybody that comes on here. Let's move forward, Coach. What I wanted to do as well is I wanted to share with you all. I had an opportunity to go down to Big Valley Christian High School and talk with their coach and talk to a few players. So let's listen to a little bit of what they had to say. Let's hear from Coach Adam Lima, who's the head varsity football coach there at Big Valley. Okay, I'm with head varsity football coach at Big Valley Christian, Mr. Adam Lima. Coach, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. We really appreciate your time. Okay, I'm with head varsity football coach at Big Valley Christian, Mr. Adam Lima. Coach, thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. We really appreciate your time. You got Calaveras this Friday. So far, pretty good season. I mean, 5-2 on the year. Was 3-1 in league. I'm sure looking at, prior to the season starting, if you would have said this is where you were going to be at this point, you probably would have said, that's not too bad, right?
Right. No, I'd have taken it.
Okay.
I'd have taken it.
All right.
We're definitely right where we kind of our goal was.
Okay. Looking at the next couple of games, you got Calaveras this Friday, and then you got Summerville, arguably two of the top teams in the league. What's your message been to your team this week as far as going into these next two games and possible playoff indications? Has it been, hey, these next couple of weeks are really important, or has it just been business as usual? And
Well, I think one of the nice things about the way it's set up is, they are the two. I mean, Linden's great, right? They're 6-1 too as well, I think. Mm-hmm. But I mean, watching Calaveras, watching Summerville, I mean, they play a very, very tough, hard-nosed, old-school brand of football. So I think a message to our guys is learning, hey, you got to grow in some toughness over the next couple of weeks. This is good stuff for the postseason because, I'd rather go into the postseason finishing the year with really difficult opponents because it hardens you up a little bit.
Sure.
and gets you ready. I mean, obviously you want to avoid injury.
Right.
You want to, especially when you have 21 guys.
Right.
Like I do. You want to avoid injury, but at the same time, it's like I would rather take two hard opponents like this and then get into the playoffs going, okay, hey, we just went through
right.
brutal part of the schedule. I mean, our schedule is kind of that way. It's going to be that way from here on out too, right?
Right.
And every year having Summerville and Calaveras back to back is going to be a unique challenge for us to end our
kind of an iron sharpens iron philosophy.
Basically, I mean the way it's set up is it's our future.
Yeah.
And every year we're going to come into this and go, all right, let's go. Okay, now Calaveras and Summerville.
River Island went Calaveras, Linden, Summerville.
Right. No, they had a brutal one.
They had the trifecta.
And I think in Riverbank went something crazy too, right? Didn't they go like Calaveras, Summerville, us, Linden or something? It's an interesting league. I mean, and they are two of the best.
Right.
And, watching their game last week, or a week and a half ago, when one point victory by Calaveras. I mean, you just see a different kind of football. And that's, I think, one of the things that's been important to us here is we're teaching the kids. It's been years since we've been to playoffs. And so to get that fifth win last week, to basically ensure that we're in the playoffs now at least, is a huge step for us. The next step for us is getting tougher and building in that sort of anticipation that you can go into a game like this and compete.
Sure.
We didn't compete with Calaveras last year. They came here and beat us 40-something to 14, I think. Summerville, we didn't compete with Summerville last year. We went to Summerville and they beat us 35-0.
Right.
So it's learning how to compete, learning how to gain yards, learning how to fight through a team like a Calaveras, which is bigger than we are, which is stronger than we are. I think down the line, I think they're bigger and stronger than we are. But at the same time, can we compete? Can we make them work for yardage? Can we make them play 48 minutes? Right. I mean, that's the main goal. I don't know if we're going to get there, but that's the main goal.
Right. So as you bring up last year. The score, in my opinion, I called the game for KVGC Radio last year right here on your guys' home field. And to me, the game was a lot closer than what that score was indicative of. Too. You guys competed for the better part of 3/4 of that game. Is that something that you'll use to help your guys kind of let them know that they're capable of playing at a certain level?
Yeah, I actually thought that about both games last year. Honestly, both Summerville and Calaveras. Okay. For our guys, it's learning. It's a learning process. Don't make the huge mistake that costs you the points. Go out there and get the points, fight. Once you get down, don't get defeated. And I feel like that's been a big thing. We didn't turn that switch on last year until we played, I think it was a week 6 game or week 5 game against Biggs. So that was after Calaveras and after Summerville. That I felt like the kids started getting it.
Gotcha.
Like, hey, you guys can compete. You know, one of the things that we talked about with the Summerville Calaveras game last week was how far down Summerville was.
Yeah.
At one point and fought their way back.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's kudos to Summerville.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, guys, you have to have that same mentality. You know, you can't just, oh, we're down, we're done.
Right.
You know, and we had that same thing last year with Summerville. I mean, the score is 35-0, but if you watch the film, you know, we just made a ton of mistakes.
Yeah.
And they capitalized on every one of them. To their credit, right? To their credit. So.
Right. So, Coach, my last question goes around last week. Last week you played Bret Hart. You were able to get the victory there. I had Guy Dawsey, the sports writer for the Calaveras Enterprise, on my last episode. We were doing kind of a where are we now in the Motherlode League. And he mentioned you and asking me a question about throwing the ball late in the game. There was a response on X or Twitter or whatever it is, and you actually responded, and it was very, humble, I made a mistake kind of response. So, kudos to you for that. My question around that scenario though really is do you normally take habit of responding to people's criticism on the internet? Because I did this for 24 years, and that's the last thing I would probably do.
No, I agree. I did it in this case because actually the whole post was generated by somebody from our organization. Started it, and it was a positive thing.
Gotcha.
But they tagged everybody they could that was affiliated with the MLL, and then Guy Dawsey responded, and I think his response was sort of tongue in cheek. I think he meant it probably to be somewhat. I mean, snarky's not the right word. Be funny,
right?
But I saw, and I'll be honest. I made a mistake. And I was like, this is a good opportunity for a coach to own it and just say, you know what? Because I knew Guy was like a local sports guy. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, you know what? I mean, this is a good time.
Right.
I don't want to give engagement to guys out there that are just trolls and but in his case, he's a local sports writer.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I got to be honest.
Right.
I made a mistake. I didn't tell him the context of the mistake. I didn't, because I don't feel like that's important.
Right.
But it was one of those where I literally cannot think of another time in my entire coaching career I've done that.
Right.
And it was one of those things where I just sat there, and as soon as it happened, I was like, why in the world did you just do that?
Yeah.
And I was kicking myself all weekend. I said, you can ask my assistant coach, because my JV coach, because he and I have probably talked 50 times about it, because it's like, I don't know, just got away from me, made a huge mistake. And it's something I've talked to my seniors, and I've talked to my quarterback about, and I've talked to the different people on the team, because they're really the ones I owe the apology to.
Right.
Because I'm trying to teach them the right way to do things.
Sure.
But I also think one of those things is being man enough to apologize. And,
you bet.
And put it out there on that insane internet thing. That,
Yeah.
occasionally gets legs of its own.
Right,
I figured
exactly.
it would, but I was
Right.
like, you know what? I mean, you can keep at me if you want. But.
Yeah, my response to Guy was, as a former coach, absolutely you can get lost. I mean, I've had times as a play caller where I look over at the coach and I'm like, that's third quarter, right? He goes, it's fourth quarter. And I go, what? And it just completely lost track of time. You're getting into plays and players, and as he got in and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and, you start, especially when you're getting down and you're just trying to get through it, and you get to that point where you're going through the motions and along, in a big gap score. And you're like, okay, let's control the ball. Let's just, like what I did Friday night against Riverbank, I'm just going to control the ball. But then it's like, okay, we just, turned it over on 4th and 1, and now here they come again.
Right.
And you're like, I really don't want that,
right.
and then it's so funny because all your coaches are like, hey, run this, and then you do something like that, and your coaches are like, they all turn around and start walking away from you like, I don't even know who you are. And you're like, aren't you literally just saying, but it happens. You get caught up in it, you
right.
know, and that's my thing. Like I owed my kids an apology because I didn't set a good example for them.
Right.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to address it, one-on-one or anything outside of it, but it's okay for coaches to apologize. I mean, it really is. It really is.
Well, you set a good example for that.
No,
we appreciate that.
I'm hoping.
So last thing I'll say, Coach, was, I'll be to self-admit, I've been calling Big Valley the best of the rest in the new Motherlode League. If I were in your shoes and I had my team and someone was calling me the best of the rest, I would want to change that moniker. Sure. I would, and then to me, the opportunity to change that is when you have to face any of those top 3 teams. Here's my opportunity, right? So I wish you the best of luck on Friday, and I think you're a great guy. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, man, I appreciate it. And hey, listen, I don't take best the rest as an insult at all, because for us, we're building. Like, if you tell me that 8 years from now, I'd be like, boy, I didn't do my job very well. But, our goal this year, honestly, was to enjoy a new league, because, we're coming out of a bad situation.
Right. Who we going to play? Right?
Yeah, we had 2 teams in our league apart from us, but it's like, that's where we're at right now, and that's okay for year 2.
Right.
Next year, we're going to be way more competitive.
Sure.
With the others.
The others.
If we're the rest, what are they? The others,
right,
I don't even
right.
know. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks. So.
Well, you're definitely on the right track, and I
Thank you.
wish you the best luck on
I
Friday
appreciate
night.
it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, Coach. So you heard from head coach Adam Lima over at Big Valley Christian. Any comments there?
I mean, I think Coach Lima's got him on the right track. We talked about that I guess with the late throw, late in the game or whatnot, and I don't know. I think people are sensitive now. I think he did. I think he went above and beyond for himself and apologizing and all that. But you know what? Short memory. Move on.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's football. Every coach, we've all made mistakes. Every one of us have made a call that we regretted or didn't like. And at the end of the day, his players, they won a good game, a big game for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
They scored a touchdown. Big deal.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. I agree.
Move on to the next week.
Yeah.
I think, we've gotten very sensitive, and when you're getting guys in and you want to see guys touch the football and you want to try certain things out, and do what you got to do.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's got him going on the right track. He's a good interviewer. He's a lot better than me. I'll tell you that.
Well, let's after I spoke with him, I got a chance to speak with a few of his players. Mm-hmm. Let's see what they had to say. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm with number 12, Nick Toledo, a running back, senior running back from Big Valley Christian High School. Nick, so far, you guys are, 5-2 on the season?
Yes, 5-2.
3-1 overall in the Motherlode League. Congratulations. I mean, that's so far so good. You're having a good season.
Thank you, yeah.
Tell me about how it's gone so far and what do you think has been working for you guys so far to have the success?
So I'd say at the beginning we had a rough start with our defensive game plan, and then honestly after our second game against Waterford, we really fixed it up, and I feel like our defense has been really, really strong so far against these teams that we've played. It was a tough loss against Waterford. We should have won. I believe we should be 6-1 team.
Okay.
Definitely have the potential to be a 6-1 team. We have Calaveras coming up, and it's gonna be a good game. But our offensive game plan is, still the same for most games. We just add a couple little things here and there. But ultimately, we got to get the basic stuff down and keep going with the basic stuff. If we don't get the basic stuff going, then we can't really, run our trick plays or fancy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we struggled a little bit on offense last game against Riverbank Bruins in the second half, but our defense really, really clamped down and held it together for us. I think that going forward, we're gonna just mainly focus on both aspects. We really do a good job. The coaches especially do a good job of dividing both defense and offense during practice days, all 4 days of practice that we get. And they do a really especially good job with that. And so I feel like with their help, we'll just continue to go. We have a tough game coming up against Calaveras, and I think it'll be a good one. We're expected to lose by Cal Preps, but we were only expected to win to Riverbank by 10 points, and ended up being a blowout. So we're just really changing the culture here at Big Valley, and people aren't really expecting what we're throwing at them.
Gotcha. So last year, Calaveras came down here and played you guys here on your home field. You ended up losing that game, but the game was much closer than what the score had really shown at the end. Are you guys really looking at that game of saying, hey, we could kind of compete at this level?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this year's team 100% would have beat last year's Calaveras team. The Calaveras game was very close last year. They led into halftime, I think, by 2 touchdowns. They got just a lucky 99 Raider playoff, and they ended up getting that touchdown going into the second half, and which really just like defeated us ultimately. And then I think that's what brought our downfall for that game. This year, our team is really good. We're looking really good, and I think that Calaveras obviously is a really good squad this year. They're 6-1 team. I feel like the players that they've brought up are pretty good. They have some athletes, but we also have some athletes that can compete. And I think it's going to be a really good game.
All right. Well, number 12, Nick Toledo, running back, senior. I'll be out there Friday night calling in on KVGC Radio up in Calaveras. So I wish you the best of luck on Friday and appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right. All right, I'm with number 70, Brady Heinrich, offensive lineman, defensive lineman from Big Valley Christian. Brady, big game this Friday. You guys are going up to San Andreas to play Calaveras, one of the top teams in the Motherlode League. Tell me how you feel about the game going in there Friday.
I think that Calaveras they're a really good squad. We watched their film. But I think we have a really good squad too. I think we match up pretty well against them. We played a similar kind of scheme in their offense last week in Riverbank, and we matched up pretty well against that. So as long as we can just contain their running game, I think we could do pretty well against Calaveras this week.
Okay. Looking forward, you guys now have 5 wins, so technically you've got enough wins to get into the playoffs, depending on how everything hashes out. Last 2 games of the season in Motherlode League play, you've got Summerville and Calaveras. Yeah. So arguably, 2 of the top teams in the Motherlode League. How do you feel about that as far as, those 2 being the 2 opponents leading into the playoffs? Is that something that you're like, we really got to work extra hard for, or are you just taking it week by week, or what's your focus looking at that dynamic?
I know we're working really hard. We're going to come out here. We got 5 wins, like you said. We have some big aspirations this year. We're looking for maybe a section title, maybe even state. I think that we could definitely do that. It just we got to really lock in these next 2 games because these are both 2 really good football teams that coming up. Like Summerville, I know they're great. Calaveras, they're really good. So as long as we can lock in, I think we match up well against both of those guys. So as long as we play good in those games, I think we could really get a deep run in the playoffs this year.
So being on the line up front, is there anything in particular that you'll have to focus on from being on the line perspective this Friday against Calaveras?
I think especially with these next 2 games, these are big mountain teams. These are going to be big guys. We don't got that much size, so we really have to keep our mindsets like we can. They're just like us. They put their pants on the same way we do,
right.
One leg at a time. So as long as we just keep our mindset right, playing these guys the same way like we would play anybody. So we just got to hit these guys. We got to hit them first. We got to hit them hard. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time, and I'll be out there Friday calling the game on the radio, and wish you the best of luck on Friday.
All right. Thank you.
Bet. All right, I'm with number 7, Titus Spears. He's a sophomore tight end for Big Valley Christian High School. Titus, you got Calaveras this coming Friday up in San Andreas. I know you've had some success playing at tight end, got quite a few touchdowns in the passing game. You've probably seen Calaveras and them defensively. Defensively, they've been pretty stout against the pass, lots of interceptions and things like that. What are you thinking about that as far as that being your opponent and then you being on the other end of that, trying to take advantage of that and get in there offensively?
Well, this week I think it's going to be a lot on our line, me included in the blocking game. So we need to just give our quarterback enough time because I know that my quarterback's he can get me the ball wherever he is. He just needs enough time to do so. So as long as our line gives him time and he just has right mentality, he's got that all day.
Okay.
And I just need to do my job.
Okay, excellent. And then looking at these last couple of weeks, pretty tough last couple of games, Summerville, Calaveras, and then playoffs after that. Is there a different mindset, going into these last few weeks, say, than you did a few weeks ago, or is it just kind of business as usual?
Well, we definitely knew that these last few weeks were going to be tough because we got our biggest opponents back to back. So we definitely were just taking it week by week, but we know that these last 2 weeks are pretty big for us, and we need to come out fired up and with the right mentality so we can go into playoffs with feeling right and ready to kick some butt.
Excellent. Anything in particular that's been the focus this week as far as specifically, since you look at last year, Calaveras came down here, so you guys are familiar with them. You had a chance to play them. They came out victorious, but the game was a lot closer than what the score seemed. Is there anything that's been the focus this week that you're primarily focused on for Calaveras?
Well, we know that we can beat them. We just got to come out, and I think the main focus is our mentality because, we've had a few rough go sometimes starting off slow, so we just got to come out pumped up and knowing that we can win this game. We just got to take care of business.
Start fast and just kind of retain it and just keep going from there. All right. Well, you heard it, folks. Number 7, Titus Beers, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, and I'll see you out there on Friday and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Coach. So we heard from a couple of Big Valley players. They're fired up on the season they're having, and as they should be.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job. So it's you got to get down to Frank Meyer Field tonight and go see the game, Big Valley at Calaveras. Coach, before we move on to that part of the show where I get a few things off my chest, any last comments around anything happening in the Calaveras football universe you want to share?
I think you said it. Big game, another home game. We had a lot of away games beginning of the year. Got another home game here this week. Man, show up. The players they notice the support. They see the support. They need the support. I think it's been a really good thing this year to see those stands full every game.
You bet.
Every home game, I think Big Valley, they're going to probably travel fairly well. As well, and I think it's just going to be a great atmosphere. Like I said, the weather's changed a little bit. It's going to be a little dew on the ground. I mean, it's football time.
You bet. I love it. Hey, so get down to Frank Meyer Field in San Andreas, Calaveras High School, to see Big Valley take on the Calaveras RedHawks. You could also listen to the game tonight on KVGC radio app. What you want to do is go to wherever you download apps, the Apple Store, the Google apps, wherever you download apps, download the KVGC radio app. Once that's downloaded, on the bottom right, click on that oldies button, hit play, and boom, you are in with all the play-by-play action. Yours truly, along with Greg Stark, will bring you all the play-by-play live action Friday night at 7 o'clock. Now, this week's rant, we're coming off a bye week, so still, nothing crazy, Coach, but some things that I had to think about, And really what this is if any of these things are happening to anyone out there, you find yourself in this situation, I say you drop everything you're doing and just go to the game. All right?
I like it.
Things that prompt me to say, let's just go to the game. All right? The only thing left to eat in the house is gas station sushi. Yeah, go to the game. Your dentist called and wants to schedule that root canal for Friday. Go to the game. Your wife says, we need to talk.
Go to the game. I'll answer that one for you.
You find yourself emptying the junk drawer and testing all the old batteries with your tongue. Yeah, go to the game. You're playing with matches at the gas station.
Yeah.
Go to the game. Your boss calls and wants you to work overtime, even though you're on salary. Go to the game. Your in-laws are coming over. Go to the game. your cable is down, and the only station working is playing a Hallmark movie marathon. Go to the game. Folks, just go to the game. That's all I got.
Simple answer.
Get there.
For everything. All your problems.
All right, folks. Well, I want to thank you for spending the time to listen in. Thanks to Coach Mosa for being here and taking care of this. Appreciate your time, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Appreciate it.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Let's Talk Football with Coach Val. Be sure to share the page with all your followers and friends. You can text the show a message under the send us a text message link in the podcast page that you're using. You could always also send an email to gilbertvaltier@gmail.com. Be sure to tune into the games live every Friday at 7 p.m. by downloading the KVGC radio app and clicking on the oldies button. You can also listen to a brand new episode of Let's Talk Football with Coach Val every Friday morning to get the latest news, scores, and happenings of the Motherlode League and surrounding area of football every week during the football season. Until next time, we are out.
And it's intercepted. It's intercepted by number 22. That's Clifton. He's got the left edge. Turns on the Jets. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Calaveras. What a play. Up to a running back. That's Ferrante over to the right side. He cuts back up the middle. He's got room. One man to beat. He turns on the Jets. There he goes. Touchdown, Calaveras. What a play.